Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, and respected opposition team, as the Deputy Prime Minister, I stand firmly with the motion this House regrets the implementation of military-style disciplinary measures for problematic students in West Java. In this speech, I will reinforce our stance by expanding the harms of such practices, respond to any possible justification from the opposition, and propose meaningful constructive alternatives. Let us begin with the core question. What is the purpose of education? Is it to mold obedient bodies or to nurture critical, independent, emotionally stable individuals? We argue that Pembarakan military-style disciplinary camps is not only an outdated and ineffective solution, but it also contradicts the entire philosophy of education, child protection, and human development. Let us first understand what Pembarakan means. It refers to sending students who are labeled as problematic, those who might be truant, rebellious, or underperforming, into a military-style camp. Here they undergo strict regimentation, military drills, physical punishment, and physiological pressures with the goal of disciplining them. First, Pembakaran contradicts the purpose of education. The fundamental aim of education is holistic development academically, socially, and emotionally. But Pembarakan treats students as soldiers in training, not as learners. It emphasizes obedience over understanding, conformity over creativity, and punishment over support. In a world that demands critical thinking, adaptability, and empathy, Pembarakan trains students in the opposite values: obedience under pressure, fear of authority, and emotional suppression. This is not education, it's control. And then Pembarakan violates children's rights and Indonesian educational values. Indonesia is a signatory to the UN Convention to the Rights of the Child, which emphasizes the right to education in a safe and nurturing environment, free from cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment. Furthermore, Pembarakan contradicts the profile Pelajar Pancasila as stated in the Curriculum Merdeka, which highlights qualities like critical thinking, empathy, collaboration, and independence. You cannot build these values with drills, order, and punishment. You build them through support, engagement, and trust. Now we move to the solution to replace military-style disciplinary measures. First, strengthening school-based counseling and mental health support. You don't discipline trauma, you heal it. Students labeled as problematic often suffer from unseen emotional wounds, bullying, family instability, economic stress, or undiagnosed learning disorders. So the solution are place trained counselors in every school to provide emotional support and behavioral intervention, and then implement regular mental health screenings and personal development plans for at-risk students, and then train teachers to recognize signs of psychological distress and respond with empathy, not punishment. And for the impact, instead of punishing symptoms, this approach heals root causes, reduces dropouts, and improves long-term behavior. And then, restorative justice programs in school. Discipline is not about control, it's about rebuilding trust. Punitive discipline isolates students and makes them feel like criminals. And for the solution are apply restorative practices such as guided dialogues between students, teachers, and affected parties when misbehavior occurs. And then encourage students to take responsibility for their action and repair harm caused, and then create a system of peer mediation and conflict resolution circles, and then The impact is restorative justice builds accountability while preserving dignity. It improves school climate, strengthens relationship, and reduces repeated misbehavior. In conclusion, we do not deny that discipline is important, but the method matters. Pembarakan is a simplistic, outdated, and harmful response to a complex educational problem. It may create obedient students, but at the cost of their mental health, dignity, and future potential. We on the government bench believe in an educational system that upbuilds, supports, and transforms, not one that punishes and breaks down our youth. Thank you. Honorable judges, esteemed government bench, and below audience, we stand firmly against the motion. We believe military-style pembarakan is a necessary data-supported and pragmatic measure to instill discipline, foster unity, and correct behavior in students who threaten school environments. We do not advocate abuse. What we support is structured, supervised, and focused intervention with clear aftercare and rehabilitation. Students need structure, not just talk, let's be honest. Some students don't just need advice or counseling, they need a clear routine, boundaries, and discipline. A lot of students who are sent to Pembarakan come from chaotic environments. Maybe they have problems at home, no role models, or they have already been involved in violence, drugs, or even minor crimes. Giving them a military-style environment with strict schedules, physical activity, and teamwork helps them reset their mindset. In many other countries, including South Korea and even the US, boot camp programs are used to rebuild discipline, respect, and cooperation in troubled youth. In some programs in Indonesia, students are taught to wake up early, do team exercises, follow rules, and take responsibility for their actions. This may sound harsh, but for many of them, it's the first time someone teaches them accountability in a serious way. And most importantly, it works better for some kids than just giving them more classroom lectures or therapy alone. And then, discipline doesn't have to mean violence or trauma. The government keeps saying that pembarakan is harmful and traumatic. That's only true if it's done carelessly or abusively, but pembarakan doesn't have to mean punishment or fear. With proper supervision, trained instructor, and a supportive atmosphere, these programs can become a place to grow and heal. Not think about sports training camps or scouting programs. They also use structure and physical training, but no one says they're harmful. In fact, discipline can go hand in hand with compassion. If the program includes emotional support, coaching, and motivational mentoring, students can learn not only how to behave but why they should behave better. It's not about forcing obedience, it's about building habits and helping them take control of their own life. Now, the solution. Make pembarakan better. Don't throw it away. Instead of regretting pembarakan, what we should do is improve how it's done. First, we can combine military-style discipline with mental health support. That means having counselors or psychologists involved in the process, both during the program and after students return to school. They can help students understand their own emotion, reflect on what they learn, and continue to grow. Second, we can focus on life skills training. Let's teach students real-world skills, how to manage their time, control anger, solve conflicts, and make better choices. This lesson can be built into the Pembarakan activities. So it's not just about marching and drills, but about becoming a better version of themselves. Third, we need to make sure there's monitoring and aftercare. That means local education offices, parents, and trained social workers should check in on the students after they finish the program. They shouldn't be left alone. With proper follow-up, we can reduce the risk of trauma or bad relapse. Lastly, we suggest that data should be collected, not just about discipline, but about improvement in attendance, behavior, and mental health. Let's be transparent and scientific, not just emotional. In the end, what we want is not to punish students, but to help them. We believe Pembarakan, when done right, can help restore discipline, build confidence, and push students to reflect on their actions. Instead of regretting it, let's improve it. Let's give students a second chance through structure and support, not just soft words and long theories. We strongly oppose the motion. Thank you.